Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a bracelet today, and I'm going to use some of the products that I've received from Beebeecraft. In case you're not familiar, Beebeecraft is an online craft supply store. They have lots of beads and findings and jewelry making supplies. If you have a channel and you have at least 100 subscribers, you can apply to be in their YouTube program and get products and do tutorials for them. I'll post a link in the description box below so you can check that out if you want to. They offer free shipping for orders over $25. Their website says the free shipping is not only for customers in the United States, but also other countries. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa10, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below. It'll save you 10% off your order if you make an order with them. I'll put links to all the Beebeecraft products I'm using in the description box below, along with links to the other tools and supplies I'm using, as many as I can find, and I'll also link the Beebeecraft homepage in the description box below. These are the 3.5 to 4 by 2.5 to 3 millimeter rondelle beads that I got from them a few orders ago. I'm not sure how many orders ago it was. I'm going to be using some Duracoat Galvanized Champagne 8/0 Miyuki 8/0s and some Duracoat Galvanized Champagne Miyuki 11/0s. I'll only be using a few of these. And I've got a magnetic clasp and a couple of jump rings and a couple of wire guardians. I've got my fire line in smoke, 8-pound fire line in smoke. I've got 2 size 11 tulip beading needles. I only use one, but sometimes I use the other one to add on thread or have it close by in case I'll drop one and I can't ever find it again, which happens quite often. I've got my chain nose pliers and my bent chain nose pliers that I'll be using at the end to put my clasp on with, and I use the chain nose pliers to flatten my thread so I can get it through the needle. I think that's everything. Oh, and I've got my little scissors I got from Beebeecraft to cut my fire line. I think that's everything. Hold on and I'll get some of my beads poured out and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to start with my 8/0s here, and this is going to be cubic right angle weave, and I already did a cubic right angle weave video. This is going to be just a little bit different, and I will link that video in the corner of this video, in the upper right hand corner of this video, and in the description box below, in case you want to go back and look at it, because I go into a little bit more detail about cubic right angle weave, and I use bigger beads, so it'll be easier for you to see. I'm not confident how this is going to be for you to see, since I'm starting out with these little 8/0s, but I'm going to put 4 8/0s, take them down to my stop bead, and then I'm going to go back through them again and make a little right angle weave unit. This is just right angle weave at first. It's not cubic right angle weave yet. Now I'm going to go back around them again to tighten them up. I've got a stop bead on here, and I'm leaving about a 12-inch tail to come back later and sew my clasp on. I don't know that it'll take 12 inches, but I just wanted to be safe and make sure I had enough. So now I'm going to go back around these again to tighten them up. Until I'm coming back out this 8 over here on the end so that I can do my next right angle weave unit. Okay, now I need another right angle weave unit, but I only need 3 because I've already got this one here that I'm going to be using as part of my 4 sides of my right angle weave unit, so I only need 3. So I'm coming out the bottom. I'm going to go on the top, and I'm going to sew around this again to tighten it up. I don't always reinforce this much when I do this first part, but I'm afraid it's going to be hard enough for y'all to see what I'm doing with these little bitty beads, and it will for sure be hard for you to see if my beads are loose. I'm going to come out this 8/0 on the end here again. Now I'm going to make another right angle weave unit. I'm going to pick up 3 8/0s. I'm coming out the top. I'm going to go on the bottom. And I'm just going to sew back around all these again. I'm going to sew around until I'm coming back out this 8 on the end here. And as far as how much thread to start out with, I would just start out with a comfortable length of thread, because you're definitely going to have to add thread onto this. Cubic right angle weave takes a lot of thread. So now I'm coming out that bead on the end there. Now I'm going to turn this into a cube. Push my stop bead out of the way here. I'm going to fold it. This is the part I'm afraid you're going to have trouble seeing. I'm going to fold it. So I've got one side of my cube, 2 sides of my cube, 3 sides of my cube. So I've got 3 more sides to make. So I'm going to fold it. And I'm going to make this side of my cube. I've already got the sides. All I need is the top and the bottom. So I'm coming out the top of this 8 on the right here. I'm going to pick up an 8 and I'm going to go down this bead, the top of this bead. That puts the top of that side in there. Now I need the bottom, so I'm going to pick up another 8. I'm coming out the bottom of this bead. I'm going to go in the bottom of this bead. So I've got that side made. Now I'm going to go up here to my top. I've got all 4 beads for my top, but they're not sewed together. So I'm coming, and I always want to sew at right angles. So I'm going to sew into this bead. And I'm going to sew around all 4 of these beads until I get them all sewed together. Now I need to go to the opposite side of this top. I need to go to the bottom to sew it together, because it's not sewed together either. So this is my top. I need to go down here to this side where there's no thread between those either. So I just need to sew at right angles till I get down there. So I'm coming out of here. I'm going to go down this bead. And I'm going to go these are the 4 here that are not sewed together that I need to sew together. So I'm going to go through one of them, and then I'm going to go sew around all 4 of them. Now I've got all those sewed together, so that completes my little 6-sided box there. So now I want to get to the side that's away from my stop bead to add on more units. So I'm going to sew around this some more. Till I'm coming out this the side of my box that's opposite the side that has my stop bead on it. Now I'm going to build my next cube, and these 4 beads right here are going to be my base beads. So coming out of the top of this 8-0 right here, I'm going to pick up 3 more to make one side of my cube. Coming out the top, I'm going to go in the bottom, and that makes that side of my cube. Now I'm going to rotate my piece toward me, and I'm going to go in my next base bead. Now I want to make this side of my cube. I've already got 2. I just need the top and the right side. So I'm going to pick up 2 8-0s. I'm going to go in my bottom bead here, and back into the bead I started in. And that makes that side of my cube. Now I'm going to rotate the piece toward me, go in my next base bead. I need 2 more beads here. I've already got the side and the bottom. I need the top and the right side. So I'm going to pick up 2 more 8-0s. I'm going to go in this bottom bead here, just like I did the last time, and back into the bead I started in. And that makes that side of my cube. I'm going to rotate the piece toward me, go into my next base bead. Now here, I've already got 3 beads for this side. So I only need this bead up here at the side here. But in order to get up there to put it on, I'm going to have to go up this bead right here. And then I'm going to pick up an 8-0. I'm going to go down this bead, back into the bead I started in. So that makes that side of my box. So now I need to get up here to the top to sew this top part together because it's not sewed together yet. So I'm going to go up this bead, and then I'm going to sew around all 4 of these beads. Okay, so now I'm going to build another cube. And these 4 beads right here are going to be my base beads. I'm coming out the top of this 8-0. I'm going to pick up 3 to make this side of my cube here. That makes that side of my cube. Now I'm going to rotate the piece toward me, and I'm going to go into the next base bead. Now I've already got 2. I only need 2 more, the top one and the side one. So I'm going to pick up 2. I'm going to go in this bottom one and back in my base bead that I started in. And that makes that side of my cube. I'm going to rotate the piece toward me, go in my next base bead. Now I've already got 2 beads here. I just need 2 more, the top one and the side. So I'm going to pick up 2 more 8-0s. I'm going to go in the bottom and back into the bead I started in. That makes that side. I'm going to rotate the piece toward me, go in my next base bead. Now here's where I've already got 3 beads. I just need 1 more up here. But I need to go up through this bead in order to get in position to put that bead in there. So I'm going to pick up an 8-0 here. I'll go down this side. And I'm going to go back in the bead I started in. And that makes the last side of my box. Now I need to get back up here to the top so that I can sew these together. So I'm going to go up this bead. And I'm going to go around all 4 of these beads. So I've got 3 of my little cubes there. Got 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to keep doing this until I have about an inch of this. And then when I come back, I'll start putting in the blue rondelle beads. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got an inch now, and it just took 5 of my cubic right angle weave units here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I'm going to start with my crystals. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to have crystals on all sides and on the top, but the bottom part I'm just going to have 8-ohs. So I'm going to do the bottom first. So I'm working out of these 4 base beads here. I'm coming out the top of this 8-oh. And this is going to be my bottom, so I want all 8-ohs down here. So I'm going to pick up 3 8-ohs. And I'm going to go from the top into the bottom. And that makes my bottom there. I'm going to rotate the piece toward me. I'll go into my next base bead. Now this is going to be the side, so I want my crystals here. So I only need 2 because I've already got 2 8-ohs. So I'm going to pick up 2 crystals. And I'm going to go into this bottom 8-oh. And then back into the base bead that I started in. And that makes that side. I'm going to rotate the piece toward me. I'll go into my next base bead. Now I want this side to be all crystals too, so I'm going to pick up, I only need 2, so I'm going to pick up 2 crystals. And I'm going to sew into this crystal here. And back into the bead I started in, my base bead. That makes that side. Now I'm going to rotate the piece toward me. Sew into my next base unit. Now this is where I've already got 3 beads. I've got 2 8-ohs and a crystal. So I need a crystal at the top here. So I'm going to go into this 8-oh. Pick up one of my crystals. And I'm going to go down into this crystal. Back into the 8-oh I started in. Now I'm going to go up this bead here so I can get up here and sew all these together. Now I'm going to go sew around all these and get them all sewed together. Okay, so now here I am at the bottom, and I want all 8-ohs on the bottom, so I'll pick up 3 8-ohs. Coming out of the top of this 8-oh, I'm going to go into the bottom. I'm going to rotate the piece toward me. I'm going to go into my next base bead, which is my crystal. Now I'm going to pick up 2 crystals to make the rest of this side. I've already got a crystal and an 8-oh. I'm just going to pick up 2 more crystals. And I'm going to go in this 8-oh down here to make this side of my cube and back into my base bead. I'm going to rotate the piece toward me, go into my next base bead, which is this crystal here. Now I need 2 more crystals to make this top part of my box. So I'll pick up 2 more crystals. I'm going to go into this crystal here. Back into the base bead I started in. I'm going to rotate my piece toward me, go into my next base bead. Now this is where I just need 1 more bead because I've got 2 crystals and 1 8-oh. So I need to go up this 8-oh so that I can put a crystal up here. And I'm going to go into this side bead here. back into the base bead that I started in. Now I'm going to sew up this bead, and then I'm going to sew around all these beads to get them sewed together. Now I'm coming out my 8-0 here again, where I want all 8-0s on the bottom, so I'm pick up 3 8-0s. I'm working out of these 4 beads here as my base beads. I'll pick up 3 8-0s. I'm coming out the top of this 8-0, I'm going to go on the bottom. And that makes my bottom. Now I'm going to rotate the piece toward me, go on my next base bead, which is this crystal. Now I'm going to be picking up all crystals the rest of the time. So I need 2 more beads here because I've got to. So I'm going to pick up 2 crystals. I'm going to go into this 8-0. Back into my base bead. I'm going to rotate the piece toward me, go into my next base bead, which is a crystal. Now I only need 2 more crystals to make this side, so I'm going to pick up 2 crystals. I'm going to go into this bottom crystal to make my this side of my cube here. Back into my base bead. Now I'm going to rotate the piece toward me, go into my next base bead. Now this is where I've already got 3 beads. I've got an 8-0 and 2 crystals. So I need to go up this 8-0 and pick up another crystal to make the rest of this side. Now I'm going to go in this crystal down here. Back through my base bead. Now I've got to get up here to sew all these together. So I'm going to go up this 8-0. And then I'm going to sew around all these to sew them together. Now I'm going to go back into this 8-0 here. Now I'm going to make my bottom again where I need all 8-0s. So I'm going to pick up 3 8-0s. Coming out the top, I'm going to go on the bottom. That makes the bottom. Rotate the piece toward me, go on my next base bead. From now on I'm going to be picking up all crystals, and I just need 2 because I've got a crystal and an 8-0. So I need 2 more crystals. I'm going to go on this 8-0 on the bottom, back in my next base bead, or back in the base bead I started in. Now I'm going to rotate the piece toward me and go on my next base bead. Now I've got 2 crystals, I only need 2 more. I'll pick up 2 of my crystals. I'm going to go in this crystal to make my side here. Back in the base bead I started in. Now I'm going to rotate my piece toward me, go on my next base bead. And here's where I have 3 beads. I have an 8-0 and 2 crystals. So I'm going to go up this 8-0 so I can get up here to put this crystal in up here at the top where I need it to be. So I'm going to pick up 1 more crystal. I'll go down this crystal. Back in the bead I started in, the base bead I started in. Now I need to get up here to sew all these together. So I'm going to go back up this 8-0. And I'm going to sew around all these to get them sewed together. I'm going to come back in this 8-0. So I'm going to just keep doing this. Now the way I'm doing it, these rondelles are just a little bit bigger than the 8-0s, not much, but just a little bit. So it's going to cause it to curve just a little. You'll be able to see it more when I get more of it done. but it's going to cause it to curve just a tiny bit, which is what I wanted, to, you know, curve around the wrist. And I was going to do this entire thing in all crystals except for the bottom, but I don't think I have enough crystals to get it all done. So I think if I do an inch of just the seed beads and then about 5 inches, I'm going to do about maybe a 7.5 inch bracelet, and my clasp will take up about a 1/2 inch, maybe a little more, I don't know. But I thought I would do an inch of just the seed beads, and then about 5 inches of this, and then an inch of just the seed beads. So I'm going to do about 5 more inches of this, and then I'll come back and we'll transition back into just the seed beads. So I'll be back. Okay, this is what I've got so far, and it's curving just a little. It's not curving as much as I thought it would, but it's curving just a little bit. And I didn't get a full 5 inches. I've got about 4 3/4 inches here, and I've run out of my blue beads. Well, I've got a few left, but I'm going to need a few to transition back into the 8/0s. But that's okay. I had already thought I probably shouldn't do a whole 5 inches because I think my clasp is going to take up a little bit more than a 1/2 inch like I thought. So I think this will be all right. So now I'm going to, but if you all are doing this and you get, if you get this part done and it's not nearly as long as you needed it to be, you can always go back to this end and add on a few units of your 8/0s if you want to do that. So now I'm going to transition back into my 8/0s. So my bottom's always going to be 8/0s. So I'm going to pick up 3 8/0s. Coming out the top, I'm going to go in the bottom here. I'll rotate my piece, and I'm going to go into my next base bead, which is this crystal. Now, in order to make this end match this end, see here I've got 2 crystals and 2 8/0s here. I've got 2 crystals and 2 8/0s there where I transitioned. So I need to have that on this end to make it match. So I'm coming out this crystal here. I'm going to pick up a crystal and an 8/0. And I'll go in this 8/0 down here and back into my base bead. So I've got 2 crystals and 2 8/0s like on the other end. Now I'm going to go back into my next base bead. Now, to make the top look like this end, down here I've got 3 crystals and an 8/0 for this box. So that's what I want on this end. So I've got 2 crystals. So I'm going to pick up 1 more crystal and an 8/0. And I'm going to go into this crystal on the bottom here. And back into the base bead I started in. So that gives me 3 crystals and an 8/0, just like on the other side. Now I'm going to go into my next base bead. So this is where I've got 3 beads, and I only need 1 more bead. I'm going to look back here and see what I need to make it look like this. So on this side, I've got 2 crystals and 2 8/0s. So down here, I've got 2 crystals and 1 8/0, so I just need to add an 8/0. So I'm going to go up through this bead and pick up an 8/0. And I'm going to go in this side bead here, back through the base bead I started in, and then back up this 8/0. And I'm going to sew around all 4 of these 8/0s to get them sewed together. So I have 5 little crystals left for my bead soup, I guess. So now it's going to be all 8/0s. So this is the bottom. So I'm going to pick up 3 8/0s. Coming out the top, I'm going to go on the bottom. Rotate the piece toward me, go on my next base bead. I've already got 2, so I only need 2, so I'm going to pick up 2. I go in this bottom, and if you want to, you can go in both of these at once. Now I'm going to rotate the piece toward me, go on my next base bead. I've already got 2, I just need 2 more. I'm going to go in this bottom one, and I'm going to go ahead through that side one. I'm going to rotate the piece toward me. I'm going to go on my next base bead. This is where I've already got 3 beads, so I just need to go up this side bead. Pick up 1, go down this side bead. I'm going to go ahead and go through that base bead. Just a little shortcut there. Now I'm going to go up the side bead here, and I'm going to go around all these and sew them together. So I'm going to keep doing this until I have the same amount of units on this side that I do on this side. I had 5, so I'm going to do 4 more because I've got 1 done here. So I'm going to do 4 more. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew this side of the wire guard on, and then I'll come back and take my stop bead off here, and I'll show you how I'm going to sew the wire guard on because it'll be exactly the same. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got one side of my clasp on, or my wire guard on here. Now I'm going to do the other side, and I'm quite certain this is going to come out a little bit bigger than I meant for it to. But that's not unusual with me. As with necklaces, I often make them longer than I mean for them to be. So I'm coming out one of my 8/0s here. I took my stop bead off of where I started and put a needle on it, and I'm coming out one of my 8/0s here. And I've got my 11/0s. I'm going to pick up 2 11/0s and an 8/0 and my wire guardian. Go into one channel of my wire guardian. I don't know why I'm trying to do it with my left hand. I can't do anything with my left hand. Now I'm going to come back down the other channel of my wire guardian. And back down my 8/0. And I'm going to pinch the wire guardian so that the thread lands in the channel there. Now I'm going to pick up 2 more 11/0s. I'm going to find the opposite 8/0, and I'm going to go in the other side. I'm going to go in diagonally. Now I'm going to go in this 8/0, and this 8/0, and now I'm going to come up these 2 11/0s coming out the other side of this 8/0 than I started in. So I'm going to go up these 2 8/0s and these 2 11/0s and the 8/0. I'll go up one channel of my wire guardian. I'll come down the other channel of my wire guardian. Back through my 8/0. Hold my finger over the wire guardian so that it'll go in the channel. Now I'm going to go down the other 2 11/0s on the other side. Now I'm going to go in this 8/0 here, opposite the way I came out it the first time. So I'm going to go in this side. Just centers it a little bit there. Now I'm going to go back up these 2 11/0s, back up the 8/0, back up the wire guardian, Back down the other channel of the wire guardian, back into the 8/0. I probably should have just sewed my clasp directly on and not used a wire guardian. That would have taken away some of the length and not made it so much too long. Now I'm going to go down these other two 11/0s, and then I'm going to go in this 8/0. So I got my wire guardian on there. Now I'm just going to sew down through here and do some 3 1/2-inch knots. Make sure not to get caught around the wire guardian. Go under a thread bridge, go through the loop, pull your thread down slowly, go through a couple more beads, find a thread bridge, go through the loop, pull your thread down slowly, go through a couple more beads, go under the thread bridge, go through the loop, pull your thread down slowly, and I'm going to go through a couple more beads and then cut off my thread. That's what I got now. That's the bottom. So now I'm going to put my clasp on. I've got a 6mm jump ring. There I am trying to put that on with my left hand again. My left hand won't do anything. Close the jump ring back really well. I'm going to take my other 6mm jump ring. So there's my bracelet. See how long it turned out to be. I'm quite certain it turned out longer than I meant for it to. Yeah, it's over 8 inches. I didn't mean for it to be that long. So hold on, let me get some of my tools cleaned up, and I'll try to figure out how much thread I used, and I'll be back. Okay, there it is. My little cubic right angle weave bracelet made with products I received from Beebeecraft. Like I said, that coupon code will save you 10% off your order if you decide to make an order with them. And I used about 14 feet of thread for this. Cubic right angle weave takes a lot of thread. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.